Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, and on Twitter as well. Still trying to figure out a way to get it on Instagram. As soon as Instagram opens it up, I will be there. But glad to have you along with us tonight on at the end of what has been an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous day here um, in Michigan. I don't know what it's been like where you are. Hello, Bill. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. I was hoping, Brad, good evening. How are you? Earl's with us, John's with us, Tony's with us, Craig is with us, and he always says Captain Mike, and I appreciate that. Jim checking in from Tennessee, Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze, speedyblaze.com. Our friend Johnny Buller from the UP checking in as well. Ruben from Colorado. How are things there? Ooh, excuse me, not looking good for our president. Good evening. Good evening to you, Mike. Dave Mason, how are you? You're here to win a ham. You're here to win a Michigan brand ham. Well, we're going to give one away tonight. The Yoop checking in. Oh, there's who said the Yoop? Who said the Yoop? There we go. Mick checking in from the Yoop. Jerry checking in from Louisiana. And we got people from all over the place. Who was that? Roger Kruger. Hey, Roger, how are you? Checking in from the Dakotas. That's a good question. Josh says, if someone was on Twitter and watching live, can they still comment? It's my understanding, Josh, that yes, I know you can comment from YouTube, and I think you can comment from Twitter as well. Why don't you jump over there and try it? Let's find out. Jim says, your truck looks awesome. Yeah, it's, and I go back to Sign Image in Saginaw tomorrow to get the Garber logos put on it. That's good. I will then next week head over to Suspension Max in Bay City to have it leveled out. And then I'll have some bigger tires put on it by Mike at Mike's Tire Sales in Colin. And why is it that today's trucks all run down the road like they're going downhill? I'm sure it's a safety thing. I'm sure it's a mileage thing, but I like them better when you level them out and lift them up a little bit. Good question. Too darn warm to kill a deer. Good question from Tony. Commercial fishing bill was supposed to be discussed in Michigan Senate this month. Contact your politicians, please. Thank you, Tony. Kurt says it was a little toasty in the woods tonight. From Lake Huron, just off the coast of Stoneport. Good evening, Randy. How are you? Johnny said he'd win some freaking pickles too. We're not giving away freaking pickles tonight, Johnny. What we're going to do, well, thank you. Gordy says put a leveler in it. That's better. Well, that's what I'm doing. We're putting a leveling kit in it. 2.5 inches in the front, 1.5 inches in the back. Thank you, Bill. It's nice to be back in a tree stand. I'm enjoying it. I'm not as hardcore as I used to be, but that's okay. But yeah, I am enjoying it. Haven't seen a deer yet in the woods. I have not seen a deer yet while hunting in the entire October season and November now. I saw a couple of does during the early doe season in September, but I haven't seen a deer in the archery season yet. Gordy says he already misses the bear woods. Got a nice 3.20 miles north of me. How do you know where I am, Mike? Just for curiosity's sake, why don't somebody jump over to YouTube or Twitter and make a comment, and let's see if I can see it. Because right now the screen I'm looking at, it shows all the comments that come through on Facebook, but I'm supposed to be able to see other comments as well. Yeah, thank you, Tony. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So you're in a tree stand and not deer hunting. That's pretty much it. I'm in a tree stand and I'm not deer hunting. The deer are pretty safe. Of course, with that reeker in my hand, they got to be so darn close anyway. Okay, well, you're right then. Finally saw 7 on Saturday in the swamp, had a spike walk within 10 feet. Hilarious stare down. Isn't that fun? Hey, Josh, making a comment to me from YouTube. It does work. Let's do the ultimate experiment, Josh. Jump over to Twitter and see if I can see a comment from Twitter. I really want to get big delay tonight, huh? Bill Hoffman's commenting on YouTube as well. Jump over to Twitter, guys. A big delay. What do you mean? Are you that your lip sync is off from the time I open my mouth to the time I make a sound is off? That's probably on your end. There you go. Craig's on YouTube right now. So it does work. Now jump over to Twitter and let's see. Twitter was forced closing, wouldn't let me watch. Well, that stinks. Northwoods Camper likes me on YouTube. See, it does work. I really want to be able to find out a way to do this on Instagram as well, but we're waiting for Instagram to open up to third-party platforms. Is that the way to say it? YouTube is way ahead also. I got no control over it, guys. I do what I can. I'm like a kung fu movie. You can see no other comments beside the YouTube comments. I'm not surprised about that, Josh. I'm looking at a screen, though, that shows me everything. Nick Grillo. We did great selling the Mike Avery sticks for October. Ended up donating a little over $500 to Real Men Wear Pink because of everybody who bought a pack of the 100 sticks. That's wonderful. Thank you, Nick. That's wonderful. And hopefully that put Jason Wolverton, the Forward Corporation, over the top. Wonderful. Thank you. I sound like I'm walking in a tunnel, too. You guys are being real picky tonight. I'm not doing anything different on my end. Hey, Lauren, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm not doing anything different on my end. It's all kind of voodoo magic. But keep in mind, what I'm trying to do is try to do something a semi-professional job using consumer-grade setups. Nick, that's wonderful. Thank you. Nick Grillo. I love the Grillo family, the folks at Michigan Brand. Captain Mark, how are you? Are you still out there chasing the jumbos, Mark? Justin says because it's 2020. Tim says it's Spectrum. Spectrum has been dropping the ball lately, haven't they? Definitely a glitch tonight. There's nothing I can do about it, folks. I can apologize. Lori says she's just glad to have service to watch me. She's running off the Wi-Fi in the truck. Lori, do you not have power right now? What, from the winds? Are you still without power from the winds a couple of days ago? Craig says from YouTube, the sound in a cave is the bandwidth of the internet connection. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. You've been duck hunting for 40 days. Lori says she's camping and hunting now. Okay, I got you. We're going to give away some a Michigan Brand ham here shortly. Part of our ham for the holidays, courtesy of the Grillo family at Michigan Brand Meats. We will give away a ham for the holidays every Wednesday night now, right on through the holidays. I would only ask that if you've won something in the last couple of weeks, you do not enter tonight's contest. Mike Wilson says, yes, Spectrum has been... Don says the sound might be glitchy, but the haircut is spot on. This is a little something I decided to do last spring, and I've never looked back. I like it. I don't know what you think about it, but I like it. Lori had a Speedy Blaze fire tonight. You're going to go golfing on November the 3rd, 4th, 5th. Wow. Well, we made it through the election. We may not know all the results yet, but we made it through the election. The sun still shone today. The world is still revolving today. You know, I mean, if you think about it, the results of a presidential election have less impact on us day to day than 99% of the things that we deal with. The weather has more of an impact on our daily lives than the presidential election does. Hey, I want to get your thoughts on this next week coming up in the Whitetail Woods. The rut is on. We're coming off a full moon, but it's going to be really warm, like surprisingly warm. Will the warm, will the abnormally warm temperatures slow down rut activity? Will it move more towards the nighttime now, or because it is the rut, the deer don't care? Preston says, "Hey Mike, you've made my day so many times by posting my photo. Way to go, big guy." What was passed? And what all ends in late January? Help me out, folks. I missed something. Yes. Okay. Yes. Here we go. Proposal 1 passed. Okay. Thank you. We're going to talk about that too. Proposal 1 did pass the state park funding. Well, we'll see, Bruce. So that passed. Proposal 2 passed. And the thing that I think is people are saying, yes, already had here in Branch County. You're seeing deer all over the place. Wish I could say the same. But as I was saying on the radio show today, okay, warmer weather will slow the rut, but as you said, big bucks rut and nothing can stop it. I'm going to stay away from the political comments. I'm not going to share any of those. That's okay, Jeff. Because we've all had enough of politics at this point, haven't we? I know I have. I know I voted. I know who I wanted to win. I don't know if that person will win. Huge scrams at our house. Thank you for the shout out. He did hit the lottery by shooting that size at his age. What is he, 6? Let's talk a little bit about the fact that wolves have been delisted, and we'll get to the Michigan brand ham giveaway here in just a minute. The fact that wolves have been delisted at the federal level, which is what we needed to get a wolf hunt here in Michigan. I talk about that in depth on this week's Ask Avery segment on the radio show, but let me address it here real quick. Wolves in fact, here's the question. Now that wolves have been delisted by the feds, what's next? Will we have a Michigan wolf hunt? My prediction is, not as a biologist or a politician, but as somebody who has been watching this for several years, I believe we will indeed have a wolf hunt here in Michigan, a limited wolf hunt, similar to what we had back in 2013. It will not happen in 2021. The wolf hunt will probably be a December, January type thing, maybe February. I don't remember. Probably December or January. We will have a wolf hunt, Lloyd. I'm telling you right now, we will have a wolf hunt, but it won't happen in 2021. It'll take at least until 2022 to get this through, because the delisting doesn't officially go in place until January. So there's just not time to put it all together. Lloyd says the antis won't allow it. Jim, I've told you this before, Jim, give up on the idea of a moose hunt. We're not going to have a moose hunt here in Michigan, even though we were promised that we would have 2,000 moose in the UP by the year 2000, and we would have a moose hunt. It didn't happen. And it's not going to happen. I think you're right, John. I think the last hunt was in December. And I'll walk through these points. You mentioned the antis. I'll walk through these. We had a limited moose wolf hunt. Very few animals taken in 2013. In fact, we didn't even reach our quota. People said it's going to be a slaughter. They're going to kill all the wolves. Well, you're never going to kill all the wolves. We did not reach our quota in 2013 because trappers were not allowed to participate. When we have another wolf hunt, if they open it up to trappers, they'll take care of the animals. The antis will indeed oppose it. They will come out from underneath their rocks. They will get their big checkbooks going, and they will fight this thing tooth and nail. Do I think they'll allow trappers to be part of it next time around? I do. But part of the year, I think it'll be December. Hey, Donnie, how you doing? Donnie Krizak's from Krizak's Restaurant in Bay City. Hunted last night, had 2 8-points fighting in front of me. The rut is on to be this weekend. Good for you. Well, we didn't almost have a dove season, Lloyd. We did have a dove season. And we let it go because we as hunters wouldn't support it. When the antis step up, as they always do, because they got nothing more to do, Lori would love to have a wolf on your 50th. Lori, you're only 35. You can't wait 15 years. For some reason, and think about this for a second. Do you or I care what the antis do in their spare time? It doesn't affect us, right? If they want to go pick flowers, if they want to plant gardens, if they want to bird watch, we don't care. Go ahead and do it. It's your life. Do what you want. But when we do something that the antis don't like hunt or fish or trap or want to have a wolf hunt, somehow it suddenly makes them apoplectic. They come out from underneath their rocks and all they want to do is fight us over it. I'm a live and live kind of person, right? So I resent the fact that when we try to do something as far as wildlife management, I don't think you want that, Jim. When we try to do something as far as wildlife management, they come unglued and they try to screw it all up. I resent that. I really resent that. So they will fight it. So what it's going to come down to is the DNR will support it. They will push for it, and they will have a plan in place. The NRC then will have to make a decision as to whether they want to go through the hassle of trying to make it work. There'll be funding issues. There will be political issues. There will be staffing issues. And keep in mind that Dan Eichinger, the director of the DNR, a man who I have a lot of respect for, told me on my radio show that the DNR does support sandhill crane hunt, but right now they don't have the heart. He didn't say the heart. Right now they don't have the resources to push for it. With CWD and COVID and everything else, it's just not a fight they want to fight. I'm hoping that by the time that the wolf come around in 2022, they decide to do something they want to fight for. But it will be fought. It'll be fought tooth and nail. But I think it'll happen. Lloyd says 5 to 6 years. Lloyd, you are as firm in your positions as I am. And I like that. I'm saying at least 2022. It will not happen in 2021, at least 2022. And I wouldn't doubt that it could be another 5 years. The antis want to control you in every way. They do. They do. They want us to live the way they want us to live. And that's not what this world is all about. Anti off on a post about the woolly listing posted by the Department of Interior. Of course they did. What else they got to do? What else do they have to do? Goose hunting last week saw hundreds of sandhills in a field in Minden City. Hey, Chris, how you doing? I didn't notice it was you, by the way. I told you I'm not going to get into the political comments based on your comment right there. Exactly. We need a break from the election stuff. So I am not going to go down that road at all. Let's talk about, which is what the goal of this is, right? Wednesday Night Live, talk about hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping, primarily in the great state of Michigan, wildlife management resources, wildlife management issues, natural resources issues. We give away something every Wednesday night. It's a chance for you and I to interact a little bit more than I can on the radio show or the podcast, because you've got live comments coming to me and I can react to them. We can respond to them, answer them. So it's a format that I really do like. Really do like it. Hunters better unite. I can't argue with this, Lloyd. Hunters better unite and be prepared to fight. Hunting will have a huge target on its back. Hunting will, trapping will, gun ownership will. Absolutely. Johnny says, let's talk about bear hunting. It's warm. They should be moving again. That's an interesting. All right, Johnny, let me ask you this. If the bears, some of them had denned up and we get a warm spell like this, will they come back out and move around? Here's the crazy part. You're right, Tony. There are so many sandhill cranes in Michigan. The DNR is giving out crop damage permits to farmers, but those farmers have to shoot those things and let them lay there. They can't eat them. What a waste! Why not let hunters get at those things? Got a 7-point tonight. Excellent. 7-point on Halloween with your new crossbow. Congrats. Excellent. What do you say, since Grillo is with us of Michigan Brand Meats, what do you say we give away a ham? A Michigan brand ham for the holidays. We will do this every Wednesday night from now through the first of the year. So think of the number of hams that Michigan Brand is giving away. If you have won something from us in the last couple of weeks, please do not enter. And I'll ask you one more thing. I'm going to ask you here in just a second to make a comment on why you should or want to win a Michigan Brand ham. I never lived in Wyandotte. I will ask you this. Please do not make your comment something like, I want a ham so I can give it to a needy family. That is an absolutely honorable thing to do, but it makes it almost impossible for Nick Grillo to choose a winner. So I would ask you not to make a comment like that really tugs on people's heartstrings. All right, here we go right now. 3, 2, 1. You have 2 minutes right now. 2 minutes on why you want to win a Michigan Brand ham. I saw a comment there that I want to get rid of. Come on, make your comments about why you want to win Michigan Brand ham here. We're not talking about successful pheasant hunters. Here we go. Now they're starting to come. Rob from White River, Ontario. Give them all them good hams down here. Yes, we are, Rob. Why do you want to win a Michigan Brand ham for the holiday? Let me show you what, while we're doing this, Michigan Brand, I'll show you their website. MichiganBrand.net is the website. Here we go. We are Michigan Brand. MichiganBrand.net. These are some of their products. Jalapenos, as my daughter-in-law calls them. She knows they're not jalapenos, but she has fun with that. Look at all these wonderful different products. MichiganBrand.net. MichiganBrand.net. I love these guys. Great company and great products. And we want to give away a Michigan Brand ham. You've got 1 minute. 1 minute. Oh, that's a good one, Ed. Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze. How does it feel, Ed, to be on the other end of this? Ed Bolanowski right here. Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze used to be the guy for many, many weeks who was deciding who was going to win the Speedy Blaze. Now he can get on the other side of this and try to win one. Never had one, a Michigan Brand ham. Never had one. Okay, want one for Thanksgiving because they are the best. They are the best. Yes, they are great. They're wonderful. 30 seconds on the ham. 30 seconds. Johnny, I didn't know you knew Josh. Ham-tastic. 20 seconds on the ham. 20 seconds if you want to win a Michigan Brand ham. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just a little something to break it up. Something to give you something new. All right, Nick Grillo, my friend, it's in your hands. It wasn't so bad tonight, was it, Brian? It was just kind of subdued, I think. Kind of subdued and a little artsy tonight, I think it was. Nick Grillo says the winner tonight of our Michigan Brand ham is... Tony says, thank you, Josh Rivard, for keeping those invasive birds. I was less dramatic. I know. I'm feeling less dramatic tonight. I actually had to work today. I had to do a radio show and 2 podcasts. Who's it going to be, Nick? I should do that right when a deer walks by. You know what? If a deer walked by me, I would have a chance to do it. Terry Wood. Terry Wood is tonight's winner. Yay, Terry. Congrats, Terry. Terry Wood, send me a private message with your shipping address and maybe a phone number, an email address or something so Nick can get in touch with you if he needs to. And send it to me. We'll pass it along to Nick. Or he's on here tonight. Just send him a private message directly. Nick Grillo, Michigan Brand. Terry Wood is our winner. Nick, thank you for that. Nick Grillo, just a great guy, a good friend of mine. And the Grillo family in Michigan Brand has really become a big part of the Outdoor Magazine family, and I appreciate that. So we will do this now every Wednesday night now, right on through the holidays, part of our Ham for the Holidays giveaway. If you don't win one, you can always go buy one. You can buy them online at michiganbrand.net. And then Jack's Fruit Markets have them, and a lot of different stores across the state have them. So maybe he will share it with it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, a couple more things I want to talk about. Let me give you the rundown for this week's radio show. This week's radio show was interesting because it was a very fluid rundown, meaning that the things were not coming together until the very last minute. In fact, my first guest, I had 3 different people scheduled in that slot, and ended up settling on Cody Norton, who is the top tier predator specialist for the Michigan DNR. Cody deals with wolves, bears, and mountain lions. That's his job. How cool is that? We talked about the delisting, the effect that'll have here in Michigan. Here's Terry. Terry, you're very welcome. On behalf of Michigan Brand, you're very welcome. Nick is a very generous guy. Nick and the entire Grillo family, very generous guy, very generous family. Well, I'm going to get to that, Ed. I'm going to get to that. So I got Cody Norton talking about wolves and the impact, and talking about a wolf management plan, and would a new hunt look different than the one we had back in 2013. And then I had a segment scheduled with a guy who's been on me hard to get him on the radio show because he wanted to talk about a particular subject. And I'm not very happy about this because the guy was really on me. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. Okay, I'll do it. So then today in the studio, Charlie calls him 2 minutes before we're supposed to go on the air, and he said, I can't do it. Here's a word of advice. If you're going to be on me, that you want time on a statewide radio show and a very well listened to podcast to promote your cause, and I give you the opportunity to do that, don't leave me hanging out to dry, because you won't get a second chance. So Avery tap danced for that last segment of the first hour. In hour number 2, a conversation with Eric Peterson about tracking dogs. Eric is with West Michigan Whitetail Tracking. You can find him on Facebook, talking about when to call in a dog, what to expect from a dog, what should you do if you're going to be calling in a dog. A great, great conversation. Then Amy Trotter of MUCC with her reaction to the passage of Proposal 1. Then Jameson Whiskey says, hello, Mike. Maker's Mark says right back at you. I told you about the Ask Avery segment. We're talking about a wolf hunt and how that might play out. In hour number 3, talking about trapping with Mark Spencer, who is the president of the Michigan Trappers and Predator Callers Association. Trapping is something I have so much respect for. Think about this. If you're deer hunting with a gun, if a deer walks within 200, 300, 400, 500 yards of you, whatever your accuracy is, you can kill that deer. If you're bow hunting, if a deer walks within 20, 30, 40 yards, you can get him. What about trappers? Trappers have to make a critter swim through an opening like this or step on a pad like this. So who is the ultimate expert there? It's the trappers. I would love to see that, Johnny. It's the trappers. So we talk about trapping. And then, as you know, I wrap up each week's show with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. Now, and I'll be honest with you, Dave told me not to say anything about this, but he told me after I'd already mentioned it here online. I have not mentioned it on the radio show, though, but I can tell you here because there's a reason I'm going to tell you. So I'm sitting in the parking lot, putting the final touches on the show. The phone rings. It's Dave. I think, oh, this can't be good. I can tell by the sound of his voice it's not very good. I said, Dave, what's on? He said, I'm in the hospital. We're talking Dave Miner here. I'm in the hospital. I had a heart attack. I said, you had a heart attack? He said, I was in the doctor's office getting a checkup and I had a heart attack. He said, they didn't even take me in an ambulance to the hospital. They put me in a nurse's car and drove me over. So he said, I can't do the show today. I said, of course you can't do the show today. I don't want you to do the show today. Your health is what we're concerned about, right? And so then after I mentioned it on social media, but before I mentioned it on the radio show, he called me back and left a voicemail. He says, please don't talk about it on the air. I don't want anybody to know. Well, I had already let the cat out of the bag, but the reason I'm telling you now is it turned out when I talked to him this afternoon that it was not a full-blown heart attack. It was a myocardial infarction or whatever that is. I love that word, infarction. Still not anything comfortable to go through. Points out that he does have a problem, and Dave has had a heart attack before. So the reason I will bring it up to you is he's going to be fine. It didn't take him out. Dave was a pretty tough guy, but I'm asking you this: if you would say a prayer for Dixie Dave, for Chef Dave Miner, for his healing and continued health into the future, I would appreciate it. And if Dave gets mad at me for mentioning it, oh well, Dave, we're just trying to get a bunch of people on your side. So that's why Dave wasn't with me on the radio show. So when somebody asks how's he doing, I talked to him this afternoon. He's all right. He's very uncomfortable. He hopes to go home tomorrow. He just needs some rest at this point. But that's what's going on with Dave. Dave is just a sweetheart of a guy. I'm telling you, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Okay, a few other things I want to talk about. Elections, we're not going to talk about them. They're over. They're history. We've done everything we could do. We voted. We pray for our country. That's all you can do. Can't do anything more than that. I have friends who have made themselves sick over coming up on this election because they were worried about what was going to happen. Not me. I'm at the point in my life, and I tell you what, I'm an awful lot happier by taking this frame of mind. I only worry about the things that I need to worry about. I only worry about the things that I have some control over. If I can't impact it, if I can't affect it, I don't worry about it. Why? Worry about the things that you can change. So that's what I worry about. I worry about my family. I worry about my friends. I worry about this show and my job. I mean, it's not that I lose sleep, but those are the things I'm concerned about. I don't worry about not seeing deer since the beginning of the season. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As I was saying on the radio show today, if it means that I never shot another deer for the rest of my life, but my grandkids and son James could shoot nice deer along the way, I'm okay with that. I'm better than okay with that. I'm wonderful with that. I told you the story last week about Carter shooting his deer, and he's so excited because now he gets a say in how it's processed. So they got the meat deboned. Him and his dad, Papa Guy, brought the meat over to me today, and I'm going to take it. In fact, I already took it over to Nick's house, Nick Grillo of Michigan brand, and they're going to make it into summer sausage and jerky and hunter sticks because that's what Carter wants out of it. Now, I don't think Carter realizes, he's not going to get 100 pounds of meat out of it, but that's what he wants. And he is so excited about eating the venison from the deer that he shot. And I think it's great. Tony, this is a great comment. Speaking about worrying about things you need to worry about. I worry about Josh Reebard catching my fish in Saginaw Bay. Tony, that's a great comment. And Johnny talked about my luck can change. Johnny, I have nothing but good luck. You're looking at Mr. Lucky right here. I don't believe in bad luck. I don't believe in luck at all. I think you make your luck. There is fate, but I don't think God worries about whether I'm going to get a deer for not. So I appreciate what you're saying about changing my luck, but I don't worry about luck at all because I don't gamble. There's no luck involved there. Okay, so I talked about Carter and his deer, our ham for the holidays. What's next? Tomorrow I'm making a trip down to Saginaw. Have I considered trapping? I have. My dad was a trapper. I was very much enthralled by watching him prep his traps. There was big bundles of traps hanging in the shed. I watched him. I think he boiled them or something to get rid of the smell. So I've thought about it. I have followed trappers on their line, but I got to be honest with you, it's too much work for me. It's not something it's just too much work. I can't think of it offhand, Tim, but I'm sure it's insightful. Yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't, Johnny. You know me. You know me by now. Tomorrow I'm headed to Saginaw. Good question, Roger. Where can you get a Dixie Dave cookbook? They are no longer in print, although I think Amazon or someplace online was selling them. I got a couple here, but I'm not going to give them to you. Sorry. Don't mean to be rude, but I'm not going to. Trapping is a lot of work. And it's something you do for the love. You don't do it for the money. Boil them in lard. All right, Johnny, you have a good night as well, my friend. Going to Saginaw tomorrow morning to Image. They put the wrap on my truck last week, but we didn't get the Garber logos put on. So I'm going to have the Garber logos put on. So that'll finish that up. I think they did a wonderful job. Science Image does a wonderful job. I love the design they came up with. Next week, I'll go to Bay City, to Suspension Max in Bay City, where Larry and his crew will put a leveling kit on there. They're going to raise the front end up 2.5 inches if they do like they did last time, and the back end 1.5 inches. Then I'll take it up to Mike at Mike's Tire Sales in Caucallon, and we're going to put the biggest tires on the truck that'll fit under it. But I was just thinking, I guess it's got to stay low enough I can still get it in the garage. I would have just swapped out my old Coopers, but the old truck, I think, had 18-inch rims, and this one's got 20, so it's not going to work. Raising bees. Now, there's something that fascinates me, Tony. My granddad was a beekeeper. I grew up around bees. In fact, my job when I was a kid was selling my grandpa's honey. Honest to goodness, this sounds so 1960s, but it was 1960s. I took the honey cakes, the honeycombs in the little wooden frames and pulled them around the town where I grew up, which was Cedar Springs in northern Kent County, pulled them around in my wagon and went from house to house selling honey that my granddad raised the bees. And he was one of those guys that when he went in there, he never wore a beekeeper's suit. He never worried about getting stung. He'd take his smoker and he put a couple of puffs of smoke down in there and he'd just reach in there and do it. And I don't remember him ever getting stung. He might have. But this is the same guy that went his entire life and was immune to poison ivy. And then one day they were burning some brush and he was downwind and he picked up poison ivy from the smoke. So bad, he was miserable. From then on, he was extremely susceptible to poison ivy. Never get sick. Oh, you married your honey. Matt, you get brownie points for that, buddy. Yes, I was a honey peddler. Bill says he wants to start bees. Please do, because there's a bee shortage right now, right? Who would ever think we could have a bee shortage? Who would ever think we'd have a modern day plague that would shut the economy down, shut the country down, right? Never had it, Josh. Never had it. Look at it. I've never had poison ivy, and I sit here scratching my hands just thinking about it. So, best honey around and good for small kids. But you want local honey, right? For the allergies, you want local honey that has the stuff made from the local plants. I will not be hunting tomorrow night. I have a meeting that I have to go to. Again, involving the search for our new pastor. But I think Friday night I can get out. And if I can, I will get out Friday night. I'm going to hunt in a stand that I haven't hunted yet. And maybe that'll be the ticket. Maybe I'm just sitting in the wrong spot on this property. Maybe that's it. But I will give it a try, hopefully, Friday night. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap it up just a little bit early tonight, just because I'm dragging. I'm old. Oh, one more thing. Yes, local honey with local pollen. That's the word I was looking for, local pollen. Congrats to my friend David Martin and his wife, Chrissy. They were married last Saturday in Frankenmuth, and I performed the ceremony. So what an honor it was for David to ask me to do that. And it was great. I thought it was a great ceremony, beautiful surroundings, great people. I don't disagree. It might be too warm to go hunting. Might as well go fishing. But the angler quest is put away. Saw a bobcat. How cool is that? We're seeing more bobcats around, aren't we? All right, my friends, have a good night. Thank you to Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand for providing another Michigan Brand ham. It's something we'll do every week now, right through the holidays. Congrats to Terry on winning the ham. Chris, you said you see your picture all over my work and helps make the day a little better. Reminds me of the great outdoors. Where do you work, Krista, that my picture is all over? Just curious about that. Polarcraft is still out. I think Nick is talking to because Terry says, I missed it here. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. All right, my friends, have a good night. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Don't forget to check out the website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And a reminder, you can always reach me. I mean, always. Send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your gripes, whatever. Oh, that's why. That's why you've seen it. That's why you've seen it, Krista. Now it makes sense. Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what you want to talk about, and have a great week. I hope you get a chance to be on the water, in the woods. Take a big deep breath. The election's over. Life will go on. The world will continue to spin, and we just have to make the most of it, depending on which way it goes. Out of our control. That's all you got to worry about. Out of our control. Have a good night, my friends.